Hi everyone! If you're looking to sharpen your Linux skills, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to cover 5 important Linux commands that every system user should know. I'll walk you through each step, explaining not just the commands but also how and why they work. So fire up your terminal and let's get started. First, help me introduce myself. I am Hani Aurelia from the Bilingual Information System programs, and this is my midterm exam assignment for the operating system course. Okay, the question is, a system administrator has been assigned to set up a working environment for the development team. Each student is required to create a directory structure and files based on their own identity. First, directory structure. A. Create a main directory name _name inside /home/mahasiswa/. First, we need to create the main directory, which will store files and subdirectories. We use the following commands sudo su. The sudo su command is used to enter as root to have full permissions to manage the directory. Then, the make directory 0903-1282-3280-86 _Hania command will create a new directory named _name inside /home/mahasiswa or /Hania. After that, we enter the directory using cd. If successful, the terminal display will change to this. And number B, inside this directory, create 3 subdirectories: document, kode, and arsip. After entering the main directory, we need to create 3 subdirectories named document, kode, and arsip. To create them all at once, use the following command: make directory document, kode, arsip. With this format, 3 subdirectories will be created immediately without having to type make directory 3 times. C. Display the directory structure using the appropriate command. After creating the subdirectories, we need to verify whether the directories have been successfully created using ls-l. The terminal output will show the 3 directories created along with their access permission. From this, we can see that there are 3 folders named document, kode, arsip successfully created. Second, file manipulation. A. Create a file named identitas.txt inside the document directory containing the following information: name or student name or student ID, and program or study program. And now, we will create a text file containing the student's personal information. Use the following command: echo strip e nama Hania Aurelia and NIM 0903-1282-3280-86 strip and prodi sistem informasi bilingual dokumen/identitas.txt. Using echo strip E, we can write multiple lines in a single command and save them into identitas.txt. Then, to verify the file content, use cat document/identitas.txt and the output will be this: nama Hania Aurelia, NIM 0903, prodi sistem informasi bilingual. B. Copy identitas.txt to the arsip directory and rename it to identitas_backup.txt. To copy the file, we will use command cp or copy document/identitas.txt arsip/identitas_backup.txt. The cp or copy command is used to copy a file from one location to another, renaming it to identitas_backup.txt. C. Move identitas.txt to the kode directory. To move this file, we will use command mv or move document/identitas.txt kode/. After executing this command, identitas.txt will no longer be in the document folder, but will have moved to the kode folder. D. Display the contents of identitas_backup.txt using the appropriate command. And we will display the content with command ls-l arsip, and the output will be this. The ls-l arsip command is used to check the arsip directory contents, which includes identitas_backup.txt copied from identitas.txt. And then ls-l code, the output will be this. The ls-l code command checks the code directory now containing identitas.txt after being moved. 3. File permission settings. A. Set file permissions so that the owner can read and write, the group can only read, and other users have no access to identitas_backup.txt. And then we will use command chmod 6 640arsip/identitas_backup.txt. The chmod 640 command sets permission as follows: 6. RW owner can read and write. 4. R group can only read, and 0 others have no access. And we will verify the result with ls-l-arsip, and the output will be this. The file identitas_backup.txt now has the correct permission. B. Change the ownership of identitas_backup.txt so that it belongs to the root user and the staff group. And we will use command sudo chown root staff arsip/identitas_backup.txt. This command changes the file ownership to user root and group staff. And C. Display the file's permission and ownership details after the change. Okay, now fourth symbolic link. A. Create a file name referency_name.txt containing the following text. This is the operating system document of student name with name student ID. Okay, we will use the command echo min a. Ini adalah dokumentasi sistem operasi milik Hania Aurelia dengan name 0903 referensi_0903.txt. And this command creates the file and insert text. We will verify with cat referensi_0903.txt, and the output will be ini adalah dokumentasi sistem operasi milik Hania Aurelia dengan name 0903. B. Create a symbolic link to referensi_name.txt name shortcut_name.txt. Okay, we will use command ln-s referensi_0903.txt shortcut_0903.txt. This command creates a shortcut linking to the original files. And then C. List all files in the directory along with their attributes to verify that the link has been created successfully. Okay, we will use command ls-l, and the output will be this. The shortcut file points to the original. D. Modify the content of referensi_name.txt to documentation has been updated by student name. Okay, we will use command echo dokumentasi telah diperbarui oleh Hania Aurelia referensi.0903.txt, and this overrides the file with new text. E. Display the content of shortcut_name.txt. What happens? Explain your observation. Okay, we will check with cat shortcut_0903.txt, and the output will be dokumentasi telah diperbarui oleh Hania Aurelia. The change is reflected in the symbolic link. Fifth, user must A. Check the default UMass value on your system. We'll use command UMass, and the output will be 022, meaning new file have RWRR permission. B. Change the UMass value to 027 and create a new file named data_name.txt. Okay, the command is UMass 027. The UMass 027 command changes the default permission for newly created files. And then touch data_0903.128232868086.txt. The touch data_name.txt command creates an empty file named data_0903.txt. Display the file permissions of data_name.txt after creation. We will use command ls-l data_0903.txt, and the output will be this. Since the UMass is set to 027, other users don't have access to this file. D. Explain how changing the UMass affects the file permission of newly created file. In this section, we will discuss how changing the UMass value affects the permission of newly created files. By default, newly created files usually have the permission RW, 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 or 666, meaning the owner, group, and other users can read and write the file. After changing the UMass to 027, the system subtracts the default permission as the follows: 0, no changes for the owner, RW, and 2, the group loses write permission, leaving only read permission, or R, and 7, other users lose all permission. As a result, the new file can only be accessed by owner and group, while other users have no access at all. With this, we have improved the security of newly created files. Okay, now the conclusion is from the practice conducted. we learned that file management and access control in Linux are essential for organizing data and ensuring security. First, directory and file management. Creating, moving, and copying files can be done efficiently with make directory, cp or copy, mv or move, and verify using lsminl or cat. And permission control, Chhamon and Chon help manage access by restricting or assigning file ownership. Symbolic link. ln-s allows creating shortcuts that update with the original files. And last, UMAS for security. Setting UMAS 0 to 7 ensures only the owner and group have access, preventing unauthorized modification. Proper file management and permission settings enhance both efficiency and security in Linux system. And that's a wrap. Now you know the key Linux commands to manage files and permissions. Keep practicing and see you in the next session.